Well, that changes everything. I'm an idiot. It's a good thing I got you to straighten me out.
Welcome everyone to another edition of AM Whiskey. I'm Mark, this is Aaron. We've got a little something special for you today. We've got the 2XO lineup.
Let's get it. So we're going to go ahead and taste and rate the newest blend and then kind of compare them to the other two and see which we like better.
All right, so we start with the newest blend.
Start with the newest blend. It's going to
Okay.
be the one on your left. It's the tribute. This is supposed to be his honoring of the people who came before him.
You know, when I'm low in the glass, I get some caramel and a moderate amount of spice. When I go high in the glass, it's almost like a hint of vanilla.
I mean, the first thing that hit me was the oak right up front. I mean, these are all double oaks. That's what 2XO stands for. I'm getting some of that baking spice. I'm getting some caramels. Some plum.
Yeah, I can definitely
A little bit of honey.
see the moderate spice that I was saying I was picking up. I can see that being more of a wood spice. It's got a pretty good nose to it. I mean, it's got some legs, a little bit on the skinnier side. I mean, these are all the same proof,
They're all 104 proof.
all double.
They're all double oaks. That's
Double
the 2XO. We don't know the mash bill. We don't know the sourcing. Dixon Dedman is not a distiller. He is a blender. So they buy the barrels and blends them together. I get some citrus notes on this. On the palate, it's a lot lighter than I expected from the nose. Some oak, but it's kind of tannic. Get a little bit of that tannic oak.
Yeah. And it stays with you a fair amount. It does.
It's got a nice finish.
It's got a really nice finish. But
got
it's
some good legs.
But it's got, like, I call it a sweet oak, but with a hair of tannic to it.
Yeah. I do like the nose.
Yes. I do like the palate too.
Wow. Let's give her a score.
All right.
What do you got on the nose?
I was thinking a 6.5.
No. And on the palate,
I'll help you out. So I like the palate. There's multiple notes. I'm torn between a 15 and a half and a 16. I think I'm gonna go 16.
all right, I was going to go 15 and a half.
Oh boy.
There's just, I like the flavors there, but there's something, it tastes maybe young to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it. I mean, when you drink as much aged whiskey as we have lately, you kind of become a whiskey snob. And if you start getting those younger notes, this is not off-putting.
There's something
It's not
sharp about
off-putting.
it though. It's not off-putting. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
But there seems to be something sharp about it to me that just makes me think it's a little young. I could be way off. That's just what I get. But the finish, I'm going 8.5. It's got a very nice finish.
I do agree. The finish is the best part of this. There's a sweet, there's a wood, there's a light spice. It's a really light spice. It's a well-rounded bourbon. It's just a lighter profile. It's 104 proof, right? So it's a lighter rounding. I'm gonna go 7.5. It is really good.
I mean,
on the
I
finish.
still got it right now.
Yeah, so do I. And for 104 proof, that's a really, really,
Right.
really.
Right. This isn't, your big proof monster that's 120 plus where you expect to
Yeah.
get that longer finish. for 104 proof, I feel like this one hangs around a lot longer than I would expect it to. So part of that is that I was pleasantly surprised by that.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I agree. Like, it's got, for what it is, proof white, really long finish. I'm even going to jump ahead to price and availability.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a 7. I'm going to say it's a 7 because it's available. It's all over the place. It is a $100 bottle, right? It's not entry level. It's not cheap. But I think you can find it, and I think it's pretty good. And it drinks, because of the finish, it drinks close to that $100 bottle mark.
Right.
I really think it does.
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's barking was distracting me. I could probably... I think it's definitely available. You can find it. You'll see it everywhere. You can still find some of the Innkeeper around.
Mm-hmm. The Phoenix is getting harder to find now.
The Phoenix is harder to find. Like I said, I didn't see any. I didn't think I was going to be able to. But I really enjoyed the Innkeeper. Was at a whiskey tasting, and somebody told me that they actually preferred the Phoenix blend. So I was like, you know what? I saw one in a store. I'm going to go check and see that they still had it. They did. Decided to pick it up. For price and availability, I'm going to go 7.
So I'm always, ahead of the curve and cheating a little bit. So while he was talking at the very beginning, I was nosing everything. And now we're going to compare it to Innkeeper and Phoenix.
Yep.
So I grabbed the Innkeeper here, and now that, I've done the palette and everything else on Tribute, the nose on this has changed. I'm getting less spice, more caramel.
See, I'm getting like a cherry note. I'm getting a lot of
There's a fruit mixed in with the there's almost like a cream to it.
Yeah, I get like a vanilla cherry kind of like yogurty kind of.
Yeah, this nose has changed after drinking the other one. It's sweetened up considerably.
Yeah, I really get cherry.
Oh wow. It's completely different on the palate.
It is much different.
It is very creamy. I like your yogurt term. Because I actually kind of get a creamy, fruity thing.
I mean, I don't think we're going to go through and score these other two. We'll just kind of compare it to the newest batch.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the get-go, I would say I think I probably prefer the nose of the Tribute, but I think the palate.
I like the
Innkeeper.
I like. So I'm flipped. I like the nose of Innkeeper better. I like the palate a little bit better. I don't like the finish as much.
The finish is definitely better on the Tribute.
I don't like the finish as much. Yeah. I mean, I think the finish... let me ask you a question. The finish on the Innkeeper, is it a little bit spicier?
Yeah.
Is it just me?
No, I feel like that's where you're getting the spice on the Innkeeper, is at that finish in the back part of the palate.
And it's
a
shorter.
little bit of that spice, but it's definitely shorter. But up front and through the mid palate, I prefer what the Innkeeper's bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And the nose, I mean, the noses are comparable. It's really close on the nose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are very subtle differences. When you were doing the intro, I was running through doing the nose.
Got that caramel.
And there were very subtle differences. I felt like the Phoenix, the one we're getting to now, is the more traditional flavor profile, I thought.
Well, let's check it out.
Yeah, see, this is straight caramel for me. Caramel and wood. I call this light spice. Like really light spice. Top of the glass is nothing but sweet notes, vanilla and caramel.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of caramel. I feel like the most oak I got on the nose was definitely on this one.
That's interesting.
This leans more towards the sweet side, kind of like the Innkeeper for me.
It's very easy sipping. There's that other SMO something cross letter, hockey stick letter that you're not supposed to use when drinking bourbon, but this one is easy drinking. Finish is still going, and I felt like mouthfeel wise was the most viscous or oiliest. Like this one, I felt like it's not, sometimes you hear me say thicker. This is not thicker, but it feels more viscous in the mouth. And it's definitely, from a spice perspective, lighter than Innkeeper, hands down. Real similar to Tribute. Maybe even a little less, but more wood plus dark sweet.
Yeah, I get dark sweet on here.
Mm-hmm.
This one's pretty much sweet throughout for me, where I got the finish, some spice on the end here. This is more your just straight sweet. This to me is more reminiscent of like a Woodford Reserve double oaked.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the finish, like duration wise, is in the middle. Like
I think this is my least duration finish for me.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's just because it's I've moved down the line.
It's still going for me. I'm gonna have to cleanse the palate. I do like the nose on this. I like the nose on all of them overall. None of them were a bad nose.
No, I don't think any of them were necessarily bad noses. I don't think any of them were bad palates. I mean, I think these are all quality whiskeys. I think if you're going to say one thing, you can say that Dixon Dedman kind of knows what he's doing when it comes to blending whiskeys together.
Yeah. Other than some of the, after Dixon had moved on from Kentucky Owl, right? Some of the releases in 2023 might have been questionable and a little wonky.
Again.
But the stuff that I had, exactly, that's the point. But anything I'd had prior were some of the best mixed blended stuff I've had. I mean, it was really good. I mean, I get why the price got up to that $2.99. I've never actually had one of the. Actually, I take that back. I did once have an old Kentucky Owl rye. It was either batch 1 or batch 2, and that was amazing.
Well, and again, that's not that we're trying to make this a Kentucky Owl bourbon, but you had two pretty big entities in the bourbon world with the Carters, who now do Old Carter, who I've never had the pleasure of tasting, but from everything I've heard, it's fantastic. Never heard anything bad about it. And you have Dixon Dedman. And again, the Kentucky Owls had a great reputation when he was there. When those guys left, all indications are the quality went down. I think this is a good showing for Dixon Dedman. I think these are all really good whiskeys. I don't think any of them are great.
No.
But, I think you gotta...
I think, clearly a really good blender. I don't know that any of these will make our top 10 for the year.
No.
But they're not far out. I know you see how some people do top 20 or top 100. Like these three are going to show up on folks' top 50 or 100. These are really, really good whiskeys.
So which one's your favorite?
I like the Innkeeper. I like all three for different reasons. And all three I would reach for. The one I like the most is the Phoenix. So my flavor profile is predominantly sweet, little oak, light spice. That's me. And the Phoenix does that the best. I also like the mouthfeel on it. I really like the Innkeeper's creaminess. I think that really makes it stand out. And the Tribute is rock solid. I mean, it's just really good, well-rounded. And I think that the Tribute probably has got a few extra notes buried in it that, I just need more time to spend with to pick up on.
So
I'm Phoenix Innkeeper Tribute.
my first inclination is that the Innkeeper's my favorite, which kind of fits our profiles. I like a little more spice in my bourbon than you're typically gonna like. But after going through, I kind of went back, and that's why I poured a little bit more to the Tribute, and I actually kind of enjoyed that last sip more than the previous sip. So I just kind of wanted to give it a little bit. Now, I poured this a good hour before we started this, so these had some time to sit out and breathe, but yeah, I mean, I think it's, I don't know, it's grown on me, that tannicness that I got at first, I'm not getting on that sip. That was just a really pleasant sweet oak taste right there.
Well, we also probably become semi-custom. You got to figure these three blends, are within a range.
Well, and again, I think
shows.
Started here as the first sip of the night. Now my palate's gotten a little more accustomed to, oh yeah, we're drinking whiskey, okay. And it's going to pick those things out. I still think overall I'm probably going to go the Innkeeper, but then I think I'm going to go the Tribute and then the Phoenix. Although they're all really close.
That would make sense, knowing you, right?
They're,
you and I will rarely ever pick in a lineup the same one.
if we do pick the same thing in a blind or something, go get it, because that's
probably pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably something that's worth drinking, because we do have a little bit different flavor profiles and like some different things. So if we can both like it, that means it's offering a little something for everybody.
Good. We'd like to thank you for your time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us some comments, some feedback. Let us know what you'd like to review next. And until then, keep the whiskey flowing.
Have a good night.